Good morning, everyone. I'm going to ride around the world.
I'm Mick Claridge, and I'm going to ride around the world on my bike.
My son, he gave me advice at the start of this ride, and he looked at me and just said, "Dad, don't be a moron."
Let me do my animal signal to gain their respect.
How's it going, Sally?
Yeah, I'm alright, Mick. How's it going?
Worse than that bit in Lord of the Rings, where they go into the top and the spider's in the tunnel. I'm just hoping there's a spider at the top of this one to kill me. Freezing.
And I failed. I moroned up the ride.
As we reach the midway point of the season, the drivers have faced some tough challenges as well as visiting some classic tracks. However, today the drivers will face a brand new challenge as we welcome the Rudskogen Motor Centre to the series as we get ready to watch round 6 of the Lotus 49 Grand Prix Legends Series. And you'll see it all live here on the Global Sim Racing channel. Hi everyone, I'm Craig King. With me in the booth is multi-time Grand Prix Legends champion Mick Claridge, and behind the scenes is our director Ryan Bauer, and he'll be using cameras provided by Dougie Beard. Now known to few outside of Norway, the national motorsport facility of the country provides the drivers with some unique challenges. So let's take a look at the track guide to get everyone up to speed on this Tilke track.
Welcome to Rudskogen Motor Centre. Located about an hour and a half south of Norway's capital of Oslo, the southerly placement allows for a much longer racing season than you'd expect in a Scandinavian country. At just over 2 miles, or 3¼ kilometers in length, the 14-turn track makes for a perfect lower to mid-level racing circuit. A nice amount of elevation change and some truly picturesque scenery makes it not hard on the eyes for fans, but retains a delicious amount of challenges for drivers. There's of course the obvious places for passes, such as into the sharp chicane of turns 1 and 2. But in spite of the long downhill stretch into 3, it's way too fast of a corner to try and overtake unless you're seriously brave. 7 and 8 include a frustrating triple apex sequence that rises, drops, and then rises again, all within what effectively becomes a single corner. There's also the tricky combination of 13's swift entry, then a seemingly never-ending final right-hander to dump you onto the main straight. With it being part of iRacing's base content, drivers are likely to get plenty familiar with this track, and they'll need to thanks to the very technical layout. But overall, it's easy to see why this is a popular destination for all Norwegian motorsports fans.
So this is a dive into the unknown for some of these drivers, and what they're expecting today is the elevation changes, as you see, coming out of turn 2, going down into that sweeping turn 3, turn 4 control there, that combo. That can throw a lot of people off by going wide there. It is a tough corner to get the right speed on, especially with these cars. You've got the S's 5, 6, and 7. Fantastic little corner complex there. And then one of the blind left-handers, turn 8. In practice, some of these drivers were going a little bit wide there on the exit of 8, just to blind and also that elevation change. Expect another blind left-hander into turn 12, just there adjacent to the start-finish line you'll see there before they end there, a sweeping right-hander in turn 14, where you've got to be careful with the throttle here because you don't want to go off there. And thankfully, with a pit lane entry well early, you're not going to risk accidentally going into the pit lane. So these drivers will have to be careful with their cars here today. Watch out for the downforce, and we'll wait and see We do have Mick with us now. I think, Mick, we've covered mainly all the bases here, but what is going to be the hard part for downforce?
Yeah, downforce, there isn't any, basically. So, just one thing we got to touch on today is the amount of slowdowns at this place. There's so many places to get a slowdown. And you know yourself, Craig, you got to be on the limit to win these races. And there's a few guys taking it a bit conservative today, judging by previous races. But, yeah, it's all going to be about just maximising everything without getting those painful slowdowns.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, if we look at the championship standings, there's only been one person who has been on the edge to the absolute limit, and that's Ove Trengerade. Look at that. Can anybody stop him? 221 points. Sebastian Tixia is right behind him, and then you've got the Olsen brothers, well, not the Olsen brothers per se, but it's John Olsen and Laus Olsen, 198 and 185, and you see down the order as well, Robert Plumley just rounding off the top 10, still very close for the rest of the field. Podiums could be anywhere at the end of the season. How about those Formula 2 standings?
Yeah, Formula 2, David Rossi's got the lead there. Yuri Rickstrom is chasing him down. Tobias Harmvey is in third place. Michael Grissinger, he's looking good today in fourth. Rolly Warnbank in the top 5. He's always, he's looking good today. I watched him last all the way through the week now, and pretty impressed with him. Andrew Rain, the veteran, he's in 6th. Merrill Pereira in 7th. Robert Reynolds, back row Bob in 8th. Mats Lind in 9th. And Terry Tromshauser in 10th.
If we have a quick look at the Cup of Nations, it's kind of fitting that we're here at Rudskogen and Norway are leading the charge on 267, just 12 points ahead of the USA. And that's a very interesting result that we know how much some of these drivers like to run it. Singapore and Finland in third there on 229 each. Don't forget Denmark, they're also close. It is very close all the way around. Looking at the United Kingdom just sneaking in there on 218. Germany just rounding off the top 10. It does look pretty far back, but the rest of that field is very close altogether in the Cup of Nations. So today it is going to be, once again, it is laps. It is 24 laps around this track. And with a lap time roughly of 1 minute 20, 1 minute 25. Expect that really to be how long they'll be going. Open setups, of course, and it's no spare car. One crash, and unfortunately that could be it for you. And hopefully we don't get to see the drive-through penalties at 17 incidents or the disqualifications at 25. Hopefully, knock on wood, we don't get to see anybody doing that. But we do have, at the moment, qualifying is still just finishing here. There's about a couple minutes left in qualifying. And there is a familiar name. Well, to Mick, there is a familiar name at the top of the standings. Toppy is currently leading Mick.
Yeah, it's great to see Toppy come back. I think this is actually the first time he's been on the track. Just a bit of a practice earlier on, but 21.3. He's got pole there from Seb. Seb will be a bit disappointed with that lap time. Uwe Trengere's looking pretty good there in third. He's same sort of thing as Toppy, just sort of turning up last minute and see how he gets on. One guy to look out for is John Olsen, 22.1. That's nowhere near his lap time today, so I'm really expecting him to move forward.
Yeah, and also just a shout out to Javier Sanchez just getting in there as well, and a couple other names. Robert Plumley down the order. We've got just a minute and a half left. Andreas Nilsson looking like one of the only people out there. I don't think he'll be able to set one more time, but he is coming down the hill right now. If you see another one cross the line. See, this is the run down into 3 and 4 I was talking about just there. Very tough. And as you come around the corner now, that's turn 4, into the S's now, that little left-hander, then the right, then the left, and you start to see, and there's that slow left-hander, that blind left-hander. Got to be careful. In some respects, Mick, it might be easier to take the first part of that wide. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, you can you can do that, take a nice late apex. It does really give you a nice run down the hill there. Just watching him hug that red and white on the right hander. Now, this is such a tough area to get the power down in the 49. Downshifting as well, turning into the left hander, then to finish the lap after the huge right hander. It's taken age to get on the power, but there's a few different ways you could take this last corner. Expect guys to run wide and then cut a late apex. And let's just see how he gets across the line, see how he goes. I don't think he's got a lap time, has he?
No, he's gone into the pits, so that will be everything. And that should be everybody now setting their time. So if we look at the results, it of course, Topi Kotanemi taking pole position from Sebastian Tixia. And then Ovi Trengarade in third, and beside him will be Javier Sanchez. Bill Tyler will be there in fifth, with Mikko Makela in sixth position. Mira Haraski takes seventh, and Wonshi Lin will be eighth, followed by John Olsen and David Ross rounding out the top 10.
Yeah, 10th spot for Rossi there. That's a brilliant lap. Seb Alexander way down, too far down the grid. He should be right up there. He's in 11th. So Harrison's another guy that's out of place there, 12th. Jorge Neva in 13th. Glenn Becker in 14th. Neil Kemp 15th. Gary Ho in 16th. Rolly Wallbank in 17th. Marcel Pfister in 18th. Tobias Harmvey 19th. And rounding out the top 20 is Richard Watson.
Yeah, and another name that is a little bit surprising near the back of the order, Laus Olsen in 21st, followed by Will Lamb in 22nd. Javier Mosquera will take 23rd, and Robert Plumley, another name, in 24th. Manuel Pereira will be 25th, and Andreas Nilsson will take 26th. Then it's Johan Rodriguez in 27th. Tiro Tilius will take 28th. Paul Wilson 29th, and Parad Katarov will take 30th. As we round out
first is Hideki Kamisto. Yeah, sorry, I was watching the guys on the grid. Temi Tryouts in 32nd, Mago Sinarstak in 33rd, Pedro Termaladri in 34th, Markel Sagano in 35th, Jack Spriet in 36th, Max Linden, Andrew Eng, and Oscar Pladi at the back of the field there.
Yeah, we've got a full 39 cars on this. You can start to see 65 Fahrenheit and 18 Celsius for the air temp, but that track temp 28 Celsius. It's a little bit warmer here in 82 Fahrenheit, of course, and that wind, 7 miles an hour, doesn't sound a lot, but that can cause a little bit of issues for these drivers as we are waiting to see them grid up. We shall wait to see what happens. The run down into turn 1. It's a tight left-hander into a sweeping right. And Topi Kontinemi will have the best look at it as the flag goes, and he gets the launch off right away, and it is a good launch. And near the middle of the field, there is another driver just making his way, and it looks to be like Makela is going to be fighting with Tyler as they go in. It looks like it's pretty clean so far at the front, and the back of the field looking is also very good. Topi Kontinemi, though, will get by. One car going a little bit wide there, that is Trengarade, manages to hold on here as they come down into turn 3.
Yeah, great start by Toppy there. Brilliant over the first curve, just watching out for the slowdown. But yeah, really well done for the guy. There was a couple of spinners at the back. I'm just trying to see who that was. But yeah, pretty clean for most of the guys.
Yeah, pretty clean as they now hit these S's. And you got to see, look at them. They're forced to try and take this single file here. There's a little bit of a train brewing at the moment, but they are holding. And you see the run down to the Lex corners. Very crucial as they now come down into that hairpin, and already Kontinemi is pulling a second away from everybody, showing everybody why he is the former champion here. Also, John Olsen just getting one position, and a few other people just moving up. But again, look at the single file. Everybody just feeling themselves out for the moment.
Yeah, that's a brilliant, unbelievable gap, if you ask me, from Toppy in that first lap. Don't know if Sed had a bit of a problem there in maybe the S's or something. Couldn't quite see, but yeah, really, really nice start to the race for Toppy now. Yeah, pretty good start for the guys. Just watching Uwe again now. Be interesting to see how he does today, because he hasn't done much practice, and he normally does his practice on the track and in the actual race sessions. So here we go, we're sitting on board with him now, just run down the left-hand side of the track there, look, and there's a little flag on the right, which is a brake marker. Just misses the red and whites and get a nice early apex, let it run wide, down into second gear, and take a late apex into the S's now. And yeah, trying to chase down Seb. That's going to be tough.
It's going to be tough to chase down Seb. He's also just going to make sure he holds off Javier Sanchez behind, who he is starting to. A little bit of a mistake there from Sebastian as he goes wide into turn 8, and that brings Ove right onto the back of him. But it is so hard to get on the throttle on these cars, and he's been unable to make that move or even make a look at it. It's so hard here, especially with trying to get on that throttle. There has been a couple cars making some moves, and I believe P6, we've lost P6. Bill Tyler has indeed gone down the order, and we'll probably get a look at that very shortly as Tyler looks to have a little bit of a spin. But still at the front, it looks like we do have, yeah, Ove, unfortunately, as he comes around that last corner. You were saying it earlier, mate, getting on the throttle in that last corner is very tough. Here's this replay. Let's see what happened.
Yeah, not sure what happened to Bill there. Bill's normally really consistent, so he's Oh, someone's made a dive there and tapped his rear. Oh, and then they nearly come together again. I don't know who that was behind him, but yeah, that's a shame.
Yeah, it might have been Olsen. I know Olsen was P6. Don't think it was Macula, but they were the people around that area at that time. So it might have been one of those. And we see a couple more going down. Harrison. So Harrison is now slowly having some issues himself. Very tough at the start of this track with that very tight turn one. Reminds me of Oschersleben. Everyone talks about Oschersleben, but personally for me, that is the one that everyone needs to look out for. This is Macula, and he has made up a few places here. You can start to see he's P5. He's doing well. He's made one place up. He's got John Olsen behind him. He's battling Javier Sanchez. I think we're now starting to see some of these faster guys who didn't get the right qualifying out. I think they're now starting to make their prowess here.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, just going back to So Harrison, yeah, he definitely got a slowdown, didn't he, in turn one or turn two. It's so easy to overrun the apex in turn one. As we're watching the leaders again now, yeah, Uwe's looking pretty tasty as they go down the front straight. Fastest lap for Toppy. Toppy Courtenem, fastest lap for Uwe, takes it away by 1,000th, was it? I'm not sure how close that was. That was pretty damn close anyway. But yeah, Toppy Courtenemi, our current Lotus 49 and Lotus 79 champion. Never been done before in the history of iRacing, I don't think. If you ask me, not many guys could do that. It was such an impressive season last season for Toppy. But yeah, just watching this battle now with between Uwe and Seb. Uwe was nowhere yesterday in pace. This is typical Uwe. He just comes out of nowhere and now he's fighting for second spot.
Yeah, that was 5,000ths was the difference between Ove and Toppy on that last lap. And you start to see now on the back of Sebastian's car and Tixia's car, you start to see over that engine, you can just see Ove, and he is trying to struggle. He's gone wide. The car just slid out on him there and slid out again, trying to get on the throttle, trying to be a little bit harder. We do have Harrison, unfortunately, has retired the car after some contact, and we shall see as well. I believe that his race done. We'll look at that later. Not good for Harrison, but these cars starting to make their way. We talked about it before the broadcast. This is one of the, in the real world, there's a DRS sign there. It's one of the smallest DRS straights ever. So you don't get a lot of slipstreaming opportunities on this track to make the move. So it is really just down to that mechanical grip and also who can get on the throttle right away.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. And the one thing to know is, even though it's such a short straight down the front straight here and this long straight now down from turn two, you do get a bit of a toe in the 49. So you always want to back up your brake markers just ever so slightly because, yeah, it's so easy to overrun a brake zone just from the overspeed you get. Might be just a couple of miles an hour, but it's usually enough to mess up.
Yeah, and we've already seen that with one driver making a small mistake. You can also see there, as we're watching Javier Sanchez, actually, we've got the lead battle just going on as well. We're looking at this. They're side by side. Ove and Sebastian are side by side, and they're going to be going in. It looks like Sebastian's going to lose this unless there's a late move down into turn 10. There is. Gets to the inside. Can he go around? There is still a little bit of an overlap here, and he has to respect it. Trengere is going to get to the inside here, going down into turn 12. And around the outside, that's going to be fantastic, and Sebastian can hold it. He can just hold it here, but has he made a mistake going into 14? He hasn't. That is fantastic. A lot of side-by-side there. This is the track, really. You have to set yourself up for the moves, and Ove did make it, but Sebastian defended that so well.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing a few corners before that, because I'm guessing Uwe made a move through the S's, maybe a mistake from Seb, but it's just like we were saying before the race. These overtake manoeuvres, they seem to last a lot longer than one corner at this track. So, yeah, let's hope there's going to be some more of this, because that was brilliant. I know Uwe's driving style, watching him around the outside the last turn there, he would have been on and off the throttle, just trying to get the rear end rotated, just to still keep some speed up. But, yeah, Seb's under all kind of pressure now, ain't he? Look at the gap between Toppy and Seb.
Yeah, it almost like you resign yourself to the fact that you're going to be keeping P2 instead of battling for the win. As you see, Seb is starting to make a lot of mistakes here. Well, the car's sliding him. I wouldn't say it's him making the mistakes. It's the car starting to fight with him more. You start to see down the throttle as he's going. But here's a battle. While we look at those guys, look at this battle right now for Temp. I said Kemp there. I beg your pardon. That is Neil Kemp, Bill Tyler, Jorge Navarro, Marco Vista, you start to see this is a train of cars going here. A couple of them will get the double toe. That is what we see, 6 cars there on the list. It may even be more if you take in a little bit of a factor of the slipstream. It is so hard to have dirty air for one car, but to have dirty air, especially around here into these corners for some of these cars, it is going to be a challenge. And one mistake, and that's all she wrote. You're going to be losing at least 5 positions.
Oh, absolutely. And you nailed it. It is the battle for Kemp. He's leading this fight. So, yeah. And, just watching Bill. So, Bill's out of place, isn't he? Because he was in that accident on the hairpin. So, yeah, he's going to be out of place. I think we're on board with Loust, and we've got a bit of Loust cam now. We always make a note of his pucker factor, which he's not giving us much today. No pressure for Loust today. Normally got those lips nice and tight as he's fighting from places, but yeah, nice and relaxed. Look at the steering inputs what Loust gives. It's nice and smooth. He's always been a nice, smooth driver. No worrying about the back end losing it big time and fighting, soaring away at the wheel. He's always been a nice, smooth guy at the wheel. Really, really nice to watch.
Yeah, you can see, especially with the way that car's been going, not a lot of sliding from Laos. I'm going to knock on wood before I jinx that for a moment. He's keeping it very tidy. We're back to this massive 5-car battle, which is always nice to say out loud when you see this many cars. There's the number 20 there of Jorge. You can see he is the prime position after Bill. Bill's trying to catch up, and it wouldn't be surprising if Kemp almost starts getting onto David Rossi here. Almost looks like this train is pulling everybody along with each other. Almost a case of Bill is bringing the best out of Neil at the moment, and Kemp is starting to pull the train along to the rest of the field.
Just a word on David Rossi. Good qualifying for Davis. I noticed 10th spot, wasn't it, in qualifying?
Yes.
And and he's leading. Oh, Bill gets a massive slide there coming out, and that's gonna overheat those rear tyres. So you're gonna have to watch this braking zone, Bill, because that will spin on you if you don't get it right. But yeah, nicely in there. That was a huge moment. He would have been playing around with the throttle there for sure. On board with Mick and Michaela now. Yeah, go on, Greg.
I was going to say, he pointed the car there to make sure that he was fine. He knew what was going to happen there, and he had to point the car in, and he's done a really good job there, as is the same here with Makala. And Nico is trying to get onto the back of Sanchez. While we were watching that earlier in the race, the Tixia Trengarade battle, these two were still battling. You start to see, look how close he's getting here. That gap is only 2/10, but every time you get to a corner, it is closer. This, again, the key battle. If you can keep to the back of Sanchez right here, Makala could probably look at a on the throttle move here, but he's unable to. You know better than me, mate. Is it tough guessing when to get on throttle if you're following somebody? Because there is that slight delay if the guy in front of you gets up on throttle. So are you just waiting for him, or are you just going to trust your instincts?
Yeah, you just got to trust your instincts. And one thing to note is, we've noticed it with Uwe now, as we're watching a replay, I think, of Pedro. I don't know what's going to happen here. Is he going to just self-spin? Yeah. That's on a downshift, so and someone runs around the outside of him there to get out of the way. But yeah, it's the throttle control in the car is really tough. And the guy's been practicing all week, so unless you're Uwe and Toppy. But we've seen it already. Uwe was chasing down Seb. He got really close in the hairpin, got on the power and lost the back end. So there's always that, and it does sort of tend to snap. We're at the same corner now as Uwe turns in, and just watch. A little kick of oversteer now. And then as we go under the bridge, a little bit of oversteer on the entry because he's downshifting there. Got to get that green curb right. Not too much of exit curb. And this is a nice run through that last corner now. But nice wide line from Seb there. I like that line. It's going to give him a good boost down the front straight.
Yeah, a lot of these drivers taking a wide line in some of these corners, kind of like late apex corners out here today, so they're trying to do the best they can. We talked about some of the guys like Bill diving into the corner, and again you see with Sebastian making those wide moves. And you see as well, as we went over under that bridge, you start to see the back wind a little bit. That was one of those corners we were talking about, the tough corners at turn 12. Those tough blind corners making waves, and you start to see Ove still trying to hold. Look how wide he goes this time. That's going to set him up very nicely. There's not a lot of way he can make a move into the S's. He's going to have to hope for a mistake. Is there going to be one? Comes over the curves into turn 7 and 8 they go, and rinse and repeat as we're almost halfway. We're on lap 10 of 24. We're not really halfway, we're just over a third of the way through, and it's all quiet on the western front.
Just a note about Uwe. As you were saying that, I was just thinking, what's it like to be Seb now? I've been in Seb's position so many times over the years with Uwe. Oh, we've had a spin. Who's that? That's Rolly. Oh, are you going to lose some positions, or is he going to carry on his spot? But yeah, oh, he actually hit the wall there, didn't he, I think?
Yeah, let's have a quick look here. Is this under braking? That doesn't look, it looks like he's going to be fine. And the car, he goes in wide. Wouldn't be surprised if the back just goes in and he just turns in a bit too early. Again, some drivers like to make it go wide there. Other drivers, they do decide to take it into the corner and attack there. Unfortunately, that did not work for him today.
Yeah, I think it was...
Yeah,
sorry, Craig. I think that was a downshift. He was downshifting into second gear, and once you're on the limit, you know, you're already on the limit of the car. The car doesn't want to do any more than it can. And yeah, just turning and downshifting, that's all it takes. But again, Uwe, I've been in this situation so many times with Uwe when he's been stuck on my gearbox trying to get round me, and it's the worst feeling in the world, because the thing that's good about Uwe is he's so strong on the brakes. What he actually does is brakes earlier than you and lighter. So what that enables you to, I mean, you can melt the tyres in the 49, believe it or not. So as they run down now, he'll have so much more grip on the turning than most guys because he brakes so much lighter. It's something I've tried to do just to be able to match him, but yeah, it's pretty impossible. He's got his own sort of braking styles. He misses the apex by a mile, but yeah, let's see how quick he can claw this back now.
Yeah, let's see what he can do. As you start to see, he's starting to make moves. Can he get on this throttle early enough? He's going to get the confidence near the end of the race. So in some respect, can he hold on to the back of Sebastian and just wait for that as well? Similar situation behind them as well with Sanchez and Macula in their little battle. That's a similar situation. We know what Javier's like, and he's very good at this car, at this defending. He loves making the moves, and he is making that car very wide, especially down here. You think Macula would get a run here. Is he going to make a run? This is the best chance he's had for making a run, but it's not doable on a corner like this, and especially with a car like this. That is a move that you just don't want to try and lunge that car. Yeah, exactly right. You nailed it. You don't really want to go for a pass into that corner. I'll be shocked if you see one today from anyone. But yeah, Sanchez, what can you say about him? I'm going to find a piece of wood, but he never messes up, does he, Craig? And but Mikko's been on fire this week. I had a good race with him myself this week in the car. So yeah, I know how hot Mikko is this today. So just watching the difference in the lines as they enter that right hand, a nice wide line from Mikko there. Tough to get the power down again, just under that bridge, hit the brakes, get it turned in. You really want to be over the green stuff there on the way in, but Mikko's all over him now, look, again. So let's just watch their lines through the last corner. Sanchez looks to take that wide line. I like that again. Gives you a really nice run down the straight. Brings the cars together just at the apexes, but then Sanchez is going to have all that extra speed down the straight. And one thing I noticed watching Macula there, I don't know if he caught it on the cameras, he took that inside line. He thought he'd get on the throttle. He was counter-steering. He was forced to do some counter-steering there to get that car straight. And that is the risk-reward that you've got to take, trying to take that different line. Did not work for him. And again, will come up close. He won't go for it. This is one of those where you've got to start thinking, maybe later I've got the confidence there. So he gets really close again in the middle of the corner. And can he just use this to his advantage? Around the S's they go. 5, 6, 7. Into 8, and Javier, that is not a driver that's gonna, again, I'm gonna knock on wood again, that's not a driver that's going to make that car go a little bit wide. Kept it really tight. That in itself is an ability that you've got to have when driving these cars.
Oh, absolutely. And yeah, now the tyres have warmed up and the guys will be getting a nice chunk of grip. And I did notice the weather, it's actually quite a cool session. As far as what this week's been like, so you normally get a couple of degrees hotter air temperature, so 82 I think it was at the start of the race. Don't know what the track state is like, where it looks a bit sort of medium usage, so the guys will be sort of enjoying a nice bit of grip out of the car. I think the only slowdown we've had is from So Harrison, from what we've seen. So I think the guys are able to push today.
They are pushing. It's actually a lower track state than you predicted. It's a little bit lower than that, but it's still one that the drivers have been able to get their grip going, especially this man. Look at that gap now. It's 6 seconds almost. That is such a lead. He took that lead by a second after the first lap, and he's been keeping that all through the race, and it's fantastic. And again, this battle continues on, and really, when does Ove make his move? He's not needed to, as we've gone past the halfway stage. We're now 11 laps to go. At some point, he's going to have to try and find the move. Does he wait? Does he hope that those tires keep cool and he's been able to get the grip? But with the track state as it is, what grip will he be able to find? All going to be a little bit decisive here. Can he just hold on? He looks again, maybe gets a run, decides against it. The man with the colder tires, he's looking ice cold at the moment.
Absolutely, this is a great battle. I love these sorts of battles. You know, we've had a really good attempt at a pass, you know, which lasted a few corners. But this is, I mean, these guys are on the limit. You know, yeah, okay, Toppy's sort of disappeared now, but he's, you know, that gap's not opening as much as it was at the start. So these guys are pretty close in lap times now, and it's a shame that Toppy got away. I think Seb was sort of caught mirror watching there at the start of the race, just looking at Uwe behind and not worrying about Toppy in front, because I think it would have been a lot closer if he'd have able. Maybe.
Oh, I think we may have lost Mick there as we were watching Makela and Sanchez going around. Sanchez coming out of the little curve after turn 2 had a little bit of a save there and had to lose a little speed, so that allowed Makela there. And again, Javier putting that car as wide as he could, was able to hold that position. But he's under fire now himself. Is this gap, it does again, it spreads and it contracts. It is like metal. When it's heated up, it expands and it contracts, and he's just waiting for that time again, just like Ove. Mikko is waiting for the moment. A little slide there coming out of turn 12. He's waiting for the right moment here to make that move, and hopefully that move is going to be one that works for him. But again, on the power, he's unable to do anything there. So as we continue to watch on with 9 laps to go, that is a pitter coming out of the way, but in front of them, we start to see the battles brewing around. And again, this is Ove on the helmet cam, almost the shoulder cam, as they say, goes around the S's and continues on, holding as much as he can, not getting anywhere. And look at that correction he has to do, and a slide as he comes out the corner there. There is going to be a lap car just in the way. That will hold both of them up. Was able to catch that at the last moment, and still continues on. And now these drivers, Tixia and Trengrade, they have a 10-second gap. While they're battling, they have a 10-second gap to Sanchez and Makela. So that just gives you an idea of the gaps that these guys have been doing. As again, Trengrade, he's starting to push the pressure now. And that's a slowdown from Tixia. Tixia with a slowdown, did not catch that. And Trengrade gets by Tixia. And the key thing here is Tixia had to lose a lot of time. That was not what we wanted to see there. We don't want to see a race getting decided by a slowdown, but you've got to make sure the car stays inside all the yellow lines. And unfortunately for Tixia, a slowdown at the last corner, and Trengrade takes that P2. So now we come on to the battle with Makela. And now Makela is continuing with Sanchez and almost gets into the back of him. He might have to hope for a little bit of a moment there as well. Can he result in that? But he's gone wide. And is he trying the outside inside? It's not going to work for him. It's looking a little bit desperate right now for Macula.
Oh, absolutely. What did I miss? I missed it. I can't believe I got kicked out when Seb messed up there. Oh.
Yeah, Chixier unfortunately had a slowdown coming out the final corner. I don't know if it was the final corner of turn 13, but unfortunately he had to give that position up, and he's lost the slipstream of Trengerade. So unfortunately for him, that might be the end of that battle unless anything happens, but this is still brewing. Sanchez, Macula, and there might be a lap car giving a little bit of assistance for Sanchez with slipstream, and he does, but that also throws in any dirty air as they come down to this tricky complex of 1 and 2. That lap car they would hope would get out the way pretty quickly. Paul will pull to one side there for them, and again, desperation. Macula is unable to find a way. That his best chance is to he's been getting close here at 3 and 4. Apart from that, Sanchez has been putting this car in every place needed.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. The back marker just got out of the way in time, didn't he? I thought he was going to give it up on the front straight, but no, he was a little bit more further ahead than I thought he was. But yeah, just watching him through the S's again now. Yeah, man, this is so tough for Sanchez. Just watching the mirror all the time. It's really impressive. He's held off this pressure all race, and yeah, I agree. Where does he go for this move? Where does Mikko do it? Like you say, into that turn 3, down that turn 2 straight, and then into turn 3. That's such a dodgy move. So yeah, I'm not sure how he's going to do this. What we got? 7 laps to go. So yeah, Mikko's going to try and get some desperate moves going on, I think, now.
Yeah, while we're just watching this, just want to give a shout out to the midfield as well. Bill Tyler did finally get one of those positions back, and he's now P9, as you see on the board. David Rossi there as well. David Rossi kind of is the cork in the wine bottle, the champagne bottle, I beg your pardon, at the moment, as some drivers still behind in that little train. But for everybody else, they're just, as you start to see there, look at that, and then in front of them, that is the number 6 of Bill Tyler. Once he's got by, he's really started to just unleash and getting ahead. But I think getting held up for so long there might have just been the death knell for Bill, and it might just be try and salvage what many points he can get now.
Yeah, absolutely. Pretty impressive stuff from David Rossi now, holding these guys up. But this is tough. This is pressure. And oh, look at him. Really lost the back end on the way in there, didn't he? But yeah, well done to David for holding out this long. He's fighting for the F2 championship. He's leading it. And if he can stay in 10th spot, he's going to get a ton of points from this. Back we go to Mikko now. Look at the wide entry into the right-hander. Then up the hill they go. Second gear here. Get up to third gear and then back down to second again and get turned in. Nice wide entry. Nice line through there from Mikko. But Sanchez seemed to pull a gap there, didn't he? This is a tough one. This is a tough battle for Mikko.
Yeah, going up the hill, I did notice a little bit of a wobble on the back for Mikko, for Macula, as he was going around. So that's the problem here. You try and get any type of launch you can, and the rear tyres, no matter how hot, no matter how cold you've got them, they will disagree with you. You are in a constant battle with these tyres, and around he goes again, making sure he doesn't have any off tracks, really getting on all of those colors of the curb there. Another lap car in front of them, that is Segonsak. Will he pull to one side at the last? He won't at the moment, hopefully before the S's, but at the moment you start to see, there he goes. Good respect by all the drivers here. He pulls to one side. It does not help Macula. And stop me if we've heard it before. Into the S's they go, waiting to see if anyone makes a mistake. And Sanchez got a little bit wider that time, but I think he's still in control.
Yeah, they're pretty close now as they run down the hill. I'd have a little look, just show myself in the mirror, just so it unsettles Sanchez on the right-hand brake zone, but it's not happening, is it? And again, they run up this hill. Tighter line now from Mikko as he goes up the hill, but another wide entry. He's really trying to maximise the end of this lap, but this is where he's suffering, and Sanchez is really strong in the last 2 corners. Just comes out of that left-hander and can really get the power down. So I don't know, maybe set up, maybe the diff set up, or maybe they go for different directions, but yeah, this is getting desperate for Mikko now. Got to try something. Got to start weaving about in the braking zones, I think, just to show what you're doing.
I think he's got to start almost doing that lunge setup. not go for it. But I think if he wants this, he has to start showing, hey, I want this. And you start to see, look at the position he puts the car in now. That, to me, there was a small overlap, but that was just him looking around. And again, gets close. A little touch of the grass there, but still gets closer into the S's, to the left, to the right. And then one more. And again, he needs to find a way here. Goes wide, trying to do that over-under. He does catch on, but he realizes he's almost getting close to Sanchez, and he has to do the throttle control yet again. Gets closer again. He can't show his way here. Slide, but he's using that slide to his advantage there, Mick.
Yeah, that was nice. I actually thought he was going to run wide there, but yeah, it was just out of screen looked on my end. But again, nice tight line. He's a lot closer now this time. He's a bit closer. He's braking a bit earlier than Sanchez into the last corner, and I think that's where he's getting hurt. He's putting a lot of steering into the car to get it round the right-hander. Maybe a bit distressed for the front tyres, but yeah, and now runs down the middle of the track, just sort of showing just showing a bit of a hand there for Sanchez to have a little look in his mirrors and see what's going on. But again, now onto the right-hander, down the back straight, if you will. Nice tight line from Mick. I think that's a better line to take, really. Let's see how your entry is now, guys.
Into we go to see now once again with 3 laps to go. Nothing happening now, but Sanchez going super wide there. He does manage to cut off there, and that's a good little hold off. There are battles elsewhere. We'll keep showing it, but this is such a tight battle with 3 laps to go between Sanchez and Macula, 2 of the top championship rivals. Almost sliding into turn 8 there does Macula, but he's unable to make anything. You are seeing that there is Tixia trying to catch onto the back of Trangurate. It's not happening. Behind these guys, John Olsen trying to catch onto Haraski. That's getting close as well. But unfortunately, there is nothing going on for these drivers. And again, Macula, he just doesn't have it. And the question now is, are you making Sanchez make the mistakes? Because Javier's gone wide a couple times now.
Yeah, absolutely. Just something to note, when Seb made the mistake, I noticed the lap time was, the gap was a good 3 seconds. So I'm pretty sure now Uwe had a slowdown. And these guys are getting pretty close together. Uwe will tell you himself, he doesn't like leading in a battle. So this is going to be interesting to watch, because Seb's only about half a second, if that, behind him now. And if I know Seb, he's going to be driving out of his skin, because he really will want to get this spot back. Yeah.
Uwe's last 3 laps, 124.775, 125.075, 122.179. That is a sign that something happened to Uwe on a couple of those laps, and unfortunately unable to get that gap. And once you get one slowdown, the panic sets in, another slowdown comes in. Now he's on the defense, and as I say, that goes very wide on turn 10. Almost Sebastian gets a side-by-side there. Not going to happen. He's going to have to set himself up here. There's a small overlap. Is that going to be too dangerous for him? No. Now, how is Sebastian on the throttle here, Mick? Does he have a chance for a run down here into turn 1?
Yeah, maybe on just looking as a back marker just ahead of these guys, but Seb's going for that wide entry now. Look at Uwe. He's messed up the exit, but Seb's not close enough to do anything, I don't think so. It's not going to happen this lap, but and it's a horrible entry for the pair of them, to be honest, because of the back marker. Let's see how they go. Oh, there's another guy offline there, but Seb's quite close now as they run down the hill. Uwe does not like these situations. He doesn't like it until he gets side by side, and then it's back on again. Known Uwe for so many years now. I just know his driving style so well. Yeah, he's seriously under pressure here, mate. This is his worst case scenario, to be honest with you.
The worst case scenario for him is Topi Kontanemi continues his wave on the last lap. He is just in control. 16 seconds in the lead. The gap just ebbs and flows. He's got a few more corners, a couple other lap cars. That's Laus Olsen, by the way, just a lap car in front of him. Championship rival. He's 27th and had to take a pit stop. Obviously, he had a mistake, but for Topi Kontanemi, it has been faultless. It has been almost a perfect Grand Chelem for Topi today, and he takes victory here at Rudskogen Now, what are we going to see elsewhere? Because coming around the final corner now will be Ove and Sebastian. Trengarade is going to hold off Tixia, and I don't think there's going to be anything, but behind them, they're side by side. We've got to get onto the battle side by side. And Sanchez holding on Makela. Makela trying to go around the outside. He can't get it, and a slide on the throttle from Makela, and they're going to be separated so tight there that they're going to be separated by half a tenth. What a finish then. Other close finishes coming in as well. John Olsen at the line gets Wonshi Lin. That's a fantastic one as well. So Olsen gets that P7. Bill Tyler unfortunately fell back down to 9th and could not get it. Fantastic battling all the way around.
Absolutely.
I think that's everything now. I think that's everybody. So, well, that's everybody. Some drivers there having a bit of a slide. Let's take a break quickly, and we'll be back shortly with the results and interviews.
iRacing is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all around the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics, engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 170,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsports organizations like NASCAR to deliver virtual races based on the real-life NASCAR Cup Series, as well as many other series on the NASCAR ladder. iRacing also features team racing, providing a variety of options for members to create and manage their own teams. Race with friends or real-world teammates in full-length endurance events like the 24 Hours of Daytona, Spa 24, or the Bathurst 12 Hour. Additional partners include IMSA, World of Outlaws, Supercars, and IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own Indianapolis 500, Bathurst 1000, Chili Bowl, and many more iconic events. This is iRacing, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car. Sign up today at iRacing.com.
Good morning, everyone. I'm going to ride around the world.
I'm Mick Claridge, and I'm going to ride around the world on my bike.
My son, he gave me advice at the start of this ride, and he looked at me and just said, "Dad, don't be a moron."
Let me do my animal signal to gain their respect. How's it going, Sally? Yeah, I'm alright, Mick. How's it going? Worse than that bit in Lord of the Rings where they go into the top and the spiders in the tunnel. I'm just hoping there's a spider at the top of this one to kill me. Freezing.
And I failed. I moroned up the ride.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It has been a fantastic race here at Rudskogen Motor Center. So while we're just watching the start again, let's just get over those results. And Topi Putanemi just dominated today, led from start to finish away from Ove Trengarade, who had a fantastic battle with Sebastian Tixia overall in the race. Javier Sanchez and Miko Makela also had fantastic battles as well, and Sanchez got the last laugh there after a very last second attempt there from Makela. Mira Horaski will take home 6th and John Olsen 7th. There's Wonshi Lin in 8th. Bill Tyler fell 4 places. Did recover, though, actually, to P9. And Neil Kemp does take a very crucial P10.
Yeah, David Rossi just ended up in 11th there. He was 10th for a long way around that race when you're holding up the guys behind him. So, yeah, fair play. He'll be happy with that 11th, I think. It's good for the F2 battle for him. 12th spot, Marcel Pfister. 13th, Richard Watson. 14th, Seb Alexander. That's not too good for him. Glenn Becker, 15th. 16th, Gary Ho. Tobias Harmvey in 17th. Manu Piero in 18th. 19th, Home Rodriguez. And Rolly Wallbank finishes in 20th.
We got Marco Salago in 23rd and Javier Mosquera in 22nd. Robert Plumley had some problems in the race. He finished 23rd, and Teledemi finishes 24th. Brad Katarov finishes 25th, and Mark Segonsak was 26th. Lars Olsen, one thing that we got caught up, we didn't get time to talk about. Unfortunately, he had a couple incidents at the start of the race and then a self-spin, put him down in 27th place. And then Terry Trommelhauser will take home 28. Mats Linden, 29th, and Freelance down 30th is Will Lamb.
31st is Paul Wilson, 4 laps down, so these are guys that have real trouble. Jack Sprickett in 32nd, Hideki Koivisto in 33rd, Tiro Tillis in 34th, Jorge Nieva, terrible finish for him, 35th, Andres Nielsen in 36th, Andrew Wayne in 37th, So Harrison, yeah, that's a shame, didn't see much of him today. A massive slowdown, didn't he, at the start. 38th spot for him, and 39th for Oscar Plada.
Now, we do have some people for some interviews, and I think it's safe to say we will start with the man that we didn't see a lot of because he was so dominant today. It's Topi Kortenemi, and it was a surprise seeing you today, Topi. But how did you find it out there on this wild card of a track that not many people have driven before?
I just did some laps this morning and quickly got up to pace, and I had not an excuse to not race, so yeah.
Yeah, how did you find it? Because we talked about it in all the broadcasts, the blind corners, especially turn 8 after the S's and getting on the throttle out of turn 14. Was it more of a challenge than you expected? I know you got some laps in this morning, but were you did you find yourself having to make any adjustments because of getting caught out by these blind corners?
No, you gotta learn them, and I really enjoyed the it's the long right-hander after the back straight, where you're kind of like tiptoeing all the way through with the brake, and not kind of like slowing down with the brake, but keeping a 4-wheel slide to scrub off the speed, and then carry some speed to still get some rotation with the brake to the tighten radius in the last part. I really enjoyed that corner.
Yeah, like I said, it was nice watching you again. Everyone was looking forward to it. Mick, when he saw you, was very happy to see you racing, which leads to the question, are we going to see you next week? It's Suzuka. What is your plans for next weekend?
I don't know. We have some team races to practice on. Suzuka, actually, so I might show up. But 2 weeks or 3 weeks, there's Nürburgring and Nordschleife. I wouldn't miss it.
I hope you wouldn't miss it. Who wouldn't miss the Nordschleife? Any shout-outs before we let you go, Toffee?
Yeah, it's Mick, of course, and my team and teammates, the Bike from Beach Racing, and you guys, and our team partners for Racer, and cheers, guys.
Well, Toppy, congratulations. It was fantastic seeing you again. That was Topi Kortenemi, winner of the race for today. And we do now have P2, who had a P3, sorry, had a fantastic battle here. Mick has been talking with Sebastian Tixier.
Mr. Tixier, welcome to the booth, sir.
Mon ami Mick.
Morning. Listen, mate, we've been watching this race, and we concentrate a lot on your battle with Uwe. But I just wanted to ask you what happened at the start, because Toppy got a pretty good jump on you guys. The first lap, you had a good second on you, and I was watching you guys in practice. You had the pace this morning. You was a good 2-3 tenths quicker. So I was just wondering, just run through the start of the race for us.
My gear ratio for this race, I think I used a 4.11 for the final drive. So the start was quite slow. And after that, there was a left-hander, like the blind one. I messed it up like maybe 5 times. But well, I'm going to do a French stuff and just complain about the slowdowns. I got 3 of those. Just cut 1 millimeter, and then you get 2 seconds slowdown. So, and then Topi was waiting for me every time I got a slowdown. So thanks, not Topi, Ove. Thanks, Ove.
Yeah, I think he got slowdowns as well. So what? Listen, mate. Yeah, I think you sorted out the rear end of the car today. You look like you was nice and planted.
Yeah, I think I reduced the rear half of 2 click for this one to get the rear part more stable. But yeah, it's really not the kind of track I like. I prefer like fast track. So good riddance, with slowdown, with blocking.
Yeah, I hear you, mate. Listen, Suzuka next week, if I'm not mistaken. How do you feel about that?
I'm not a big fan of Suzuka, but this kind of track usually I'm better because it's flat, it's fast. So I like fast curves.
Yeah, right. So, apart from me, who do you want to thank?
So first, I don't want to thank you, for sure, because you just told me. I just joined some friends, Australian friends at Platinum Racing. So shout out to them, and especially Wade, who did my new pen job for the Lotus.
Listen, mate, well done. Thanks for coming in. And it was, really good watching you today.
Thanks.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers.
That was Seb, and I think that's time to close it up, isn't it, Craig?
Yeah, that's time to close it off from a fantastic race today. So I'm going to give a thanks to the team today. That's Ryan, that is Mick, and of course, that is Dougie. So make sure to check out our social media, our website, and our merchandise stores. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you don't miss another moment on the GSRC, because we will be back later today at 9:30 Eastern, which is Suzuka. I think I got the times wrong there, but it is Suzuka. I apologize. Later today for the next weekend. And later today, that's what I'm getting. I'm getting my word twist up here. Will be the Camel GT at 1 p.m. Eastern. I'm getting my times mixed up. I'm getting my dates mixed up. I'm getting my races mixed up. But you do understand that we do have all our other broadcasts will be coming on the screen. And don't forget to check them out with some more fantastic racing. But until then, ladies and gentlemen, race clean, race hard, and we will see you on the track.